We are right at the top of the hour, so we want to honor everybody's time and get started right away. Just a few quick little announcements. I think everybody knows I'm Jamie. I'm the producer of this retreat through my company called Soul Heart Collaboration. I wanted to give a special thank you to Cheryl Clark with Clark Strategies for helping coordinate, organize, and market this event. She has been a godsend for sure. Our mission at Soul Heart Collaboration is to provide informative and integral events that elevate the mind, body, and soul to create a butterfly effect in the world of value, gratitude, peace, and love. And I think this retreat has so far exceeded the expectations of that mission. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for saying yes in whatever capacity that looked like for you, and for doing your part to elevate the planet and the planet's energy by working on you, yourself. Just a friendly reminder, we are recording, so if you would keep yourselves muted just in case there's any background noise. That said, if you do have comments, I think most of our speakers are pretty comfortable managing that. So if you do have a question, you can type it in the chat. If it doesn't get answered fairly quickly, you certainly can raise your hand or let us know that you have a question. There's no, like, you don't have to stay silent in this group. It's not a silent group. I certainly hope not. However, we definitely want to get started because truly, as a student, Claire is one of my favorite teachers that I have ever had in my entire life. So let me please introduce my sweet, darling friend, Clare Bennett from Scotland. She's going to talk to us today about healing psoriatic, I believe, is that the right way to pronounce it? Arthritis, a transformational journey of her own. Clare hails from Scotland. She is passionate. She is a passionate advocate for guiding individuals on their journey to self-discovery and healing. With a myriad of certifications, including life coaching, meditation, Reiki, NLP, clinical hypnotherapy, and tarot therapy, she empowers people to pursue their life purpose, to enhance their mental and emotional well-being, and to find meaningful love. Operating from her Glasgow-based Temple Divine venue, I can't wait to visit, Clare draws purpose from her own personal transformation and aids in the fostering of deeper connections and self-awarenesses. Discover more about Clare Bennett and her services at ClareBennett.scot, ClareBennett.scot. And please help me welcome my beautiful, gorgeous, lovely friend, Clare Bennett. Yay.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much, Jamie. Thank you so much. A beautiful introduction. I do have some slides to share to sort of to be part of the presentation. So with that being said, if people do have questions, I'm hoping that I'll still be able to see the chat popping up. If not, if Jamie or somebody else can just ask, just speak out loud, because I wouldn't be ignoring you intentionally. I hope everyone can understand the Scottish accent. Again, if you're having any troubles, just let me know, and I'm very happy to speak more slowly. Let's begin. So good to be here. So good to be here. Can everyone see this? Yeah. Okay, it's a joy to be here. I'm going to be talking to you today about something that I don't often talk to people about because it feels like it happened quite a long time ago, but actually it was the real catalyst for change in my life. And I'm incredibly grateful that it all happened now, even though at the time I certainly did not feel that way. Today I'm going to talk about healing psoriatic arthritis. This is my own personal journey, and I'm hoping today to share this message of healing, hope, and love with you all. As I said, it's really great to be here this year. I first attended this retreat 3 years ago as a participant and was totally blown away. Following that, I was asked to come back as a speaker the following year, and I'm back again this year. So thank you to Jamie and Cheryl for inviting me back for this third year. And thank you to all the speakers and all the attendees. This is the third day that we're here, and I'm absolutely loving it. So it feels a real privilege and honour to be here. Thank you. Now, just a few things to bring your attention to today. Just want to share my intention. It's simply to share my own personal transformation story of healing. This is, as I said, part of my kind of origin story. It really was the birthplace where everything else has sort of stemmed from, kind of like the Big Bang, kind of like the Big Bang. So now I'm here to sort of illustrate the purpose of this health crisis. So it wasn't a linear journey, far from it. And there are aspects that are missing due to the restraints of time that we have here today, but I'm sharing what feels appropriate and will give you an understanding and context. As Jamie said earlier on, I do bring tarot and weave tarot into the work that I do, and I will share some beautiful tarot archetypes that will help us relate and bring context to parts of the journey. Now, just a wee reminder, I'm not a medical doctor, this is not medical advice, and I'm not guaranteeing that if you do what I do, that you will have exactly the same results. So with all that being said, this is a very dramatic change here because it has been a journey. This was very much how I felt at the time. So this is a long time ago, over 10 years ago, feeling so stressed, really, really stressed, a very toxic home environment. And again, trying to keep this brief, in a relationship where there was a lot of hurt, there was a lot of pain, there was a lot of transference and projections of inner traumas on the other person. So we blamed each other. We blamed each other a lot for the issues that were in the relationship. It was his fault. It was my fault. On top of that, when I went to my work, then there was also a toxic environment there. So it was like the only time I had peace was when I was sleeping, because I would wake up and home would be toxic. I would go to work and that would be toxic too. So again, there was a very unhealthy dynamic at work. There was a sense of unfairness, cliques, powerlessness, and blame again. My beautiful wee cat passed away. And due to the circumstances around that, I felt really, really responsible for what happened. And it was part of what sort of broke me. It really left me feeling very, very guilty about what had happened. And also, I didn't have pet insurance, and I also didn't have the finances. So therefore I was left with thousands and thousands of pounds in debt because my cat needed very specific treatments, and then sadly didn't make it. So to say I was overwhelmed was an understatement, and I really wasn't coping well at all, mentally or emotionally. It felt like lots of things had been, I was handling this and handling that and handling that, but everything just got far too much, and then it finally broke. So the mental and emotional symptoms had been there for a while, but I didn't really start paying attention until things happened physically. So physically, it started off with tiredness and aching joints, but eventually, in quite a dramatic way, my joints swelled up and every single part of me was in pain. It was every single joint in the body, the neck, all down the back, the hands, the hips, the knees, everywhere. Each morning, it felt like all my joints had been glued together, and I had to stretch them out every morning, and it was awful. It was the worst I had ever felt in my life. Another big red slide here. Unfortunately, we will get onto some nice pink, softer ones, but this is part of the journey. So I was angry inside. I was overwhelmed with emotion, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I was studying oppression at college, and there was a lot of blame culture. Rich white men are to blame. You know, feeling angry at society, feeling self-righteous. Who can we blame? Blame society, blame governments, blame the world, because they've all got the power, right? Angry at other people, it's their fault. It's their fault I'm feeling like this. And so I was grieving, you know, I was in pain and I was in grieving. And there was a situation where I was not only blaming the outside world and expressing that outwardly, but then the blame was being turned inward. That anger was being turned at me. I was angry at myself, and my thoughts were destroying my body. In terms of coping mechanisms, the things that I used were like food, unhealthy diet, you know, to stuff down the emotions, and alcohol to numb feelings. No more red, angry slides. But what we do have now is a clinical diagnosis. I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. It develops in some people that have the skin condition psoriasis, and it causes the joints to become inflamed, swollen, stiff, and painful. So the diagnosis, the doctors examined me, and what was the treatment? You can tell by the picture. They did tests. I was clinically diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. The treatment was non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that would over time have an impact on my stomach. So I was told that I would be on medication for life, and that I would need to take increasing amounts of medication to manage symptoms. This was not going to get any better. Part of me was relieved. There was a diagnosis. There was something that was actually wrong with me, and that felt comforting in some way. It wasn't just in my head. But I took the tablets that helped to some degree, but I certainly did not feel well at all. So the pity party. My thoughts ruminated in unhelpful thinking patterns. This is going to get worse. I'm in my early 30s. Old people get arthritis. This shouldn't be happening to me. What about the side effects of the medication? What if I'm too ill to work? Will I end up in a wheelchair? No one else understands what I'm going through. The pity party was in full flow, and I felt really, really alone. So as time went on, people that were initially quite compassionate and understanding became less sympathetic. They were fed up listening to me talking about it. I looked fine on the outside, and I felt like people didn't understand. So loved ones eventually said, look, Claire, you need to stop thinking like this. You need to stop talking about this all the time. You're making it worse for yourself. So this was the low point, you know, the rock bottom, and the catalyst to change was there, and the catalyst was desperation, beautiful, powerful desperation. And from here, the only way is up. So I was desperate. Tony Robbins says that we need inspiration or desperation to change. Let me just get this back. Something was happening that I couldn't control, and I felt powerless. But it's my body. It's my body. I must be able to change this. So this was the first time in my life I didn't have my health, and I realized health is wealth. Without it, I had nothing. So I missed my health so much, and I wanted it back. So I finally felt motivated. I didn't want tablets. I didn't want to manage my symptoms. I wanted health. And the World Health Organization would say that health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease and infirmity. The tower moment. So those people who have connected with me through tarot will know that I'm passionate about using tarot to describe these archetypal moments in life. The sudden revelation, the disruption of normal life.
I'm not getting any sound though.
Oh,
I don't get anything.
can people hear me?
Yeah, you're good, Claire. I muted them. You're fine.
Okay, the disruption of normal life, the change in perspective, and the deep emotional impact. There's a reason for this happening. This is a call from the universe. breaking away from what is man-made, what is not aligned, tearing it all down and starting again, being able to create something on a solid foundation. And we see here Poseidon striking this man-made tower, which crumbles in order to build something more real and more authentic. So what can I do? I had all this motivation. I felt inspired. I researched extensively, searching. There must be an answer somewhere. I read online about people healing from similar conditions through diet, lifestyle, and mindset changes. Maybe that could be me. Maybe I could be a success story and help other people too. I watched thousands, and I am not exaggerating, thousands and thousands of hours on this subject. I couldn't do much else. I was in bed. So I thought, I'll ask the doctor. The doctor will help me. Unfortunately, the doctor was not as optimistic. The doctor said in a very patronising voice, well, you know, Claire, changing your diet won't do you any harm, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. Oh, felt that crushing in my heart. But then I thought, what if? What if he's wrong? What if I'm right? So what did I change? What did I change? Well, the short answer is everything. And another short answer is self-love. But I didn't really know that that's what I was doing at the time. This is a picture of my actual journal, not from slightly later, because the connection with self-love came a little bit later. But to start with, I focused on the obvious things: eating, drinking. So let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. Certain foods I noticed exacerbated my symptoms, so I eliminated those foods out and ate more anti-inflammatory foods. This was an extreme situation. Okay, I don't want people feeling guilty about the things that they do or don't do, okay? Because I don't eat this way now, okay? But that was an extreme situation. I needed to take extreme action. So there was no meat, no dairy. It was plant-based with a focus on raw foods. So plenty of fresh fruit and vegetables. But when I say plenty, I mean, like, I was eating up to 20 to 30 bananas a day and nothing else, because I was trying to get my diet so clean, so pure, and get everything out that could potentially be causing these symptoms. Water was important. We all hear this a lot, but it's true. I did drink about 3 litres of water a day, herbal tea as well, no caffeine and no alcohol. I stopped alcohol completely for 6 years. Movement. Now, I was in a lot of pain, so stretching was important, first of all. Before I was able to even practice yoga, I remember the first time that I went to a yoga class and I did a downward dog, and my wrists couldn't actually support the weight of my body because my wrists were so weak. So a lot has changed since then. But gentle exercise, stretching, dancing, eventually my fitness levels became a lot better, and I was able to cycle up to 113 miles in a day. So sleep was important. Sleep was really, really important. No caffeine, no stimulants, really allowing myself to rest. I'd been overstimulated for far too long. As you can probably tell, I'm a very passionate woman, so I do feel emotions intensely, and I love that about myself, but it does also take a toll on the mind, body, heart, and soul. So restricted screen time, resting without judgment, sleeping for up to 10 to 12 hours a night, sometimes more with naps. Positive mindset. We hear this a lot, okay, but it does make a difference. If you identify as a sick person, you will be a sick person. If you identify as a healthy person, you're going to move towards that direction, okay? It might not be perfect, but you're going to move towards that direction. So I reprogrammed my mind, meditation, hypnotherapy, affirmations, all the stuff. If someone had told me that painting myself purple and walking up and down the street would have cured me, I would have tried it. I would have done anything. So telling myself I am healthy, I am fit, I am supple, I am strong. And other things that I've tried: herbalism, Reiki, journaling, life coaching, talking therapy, salt baths, moving to natural beauty products. I stopped dyeing my hair because one time I dyed my hair, I came out in a big arthritic, what's the word? Episodes. So I changed that as well. So other things, connection, support, reaching out to other people who could understand, going to health retreats, raw food meetups, yoga and meditation retreats, all these types of things. So with all the junk and all the other stuff cleared out, you're left with yourself. You're left with your own heart. You're left with the barriers that are around your own heart. You're left with your own emotional pain and trauma. So clearing everything out, there was nowhere to hide. I had to confront deeply repressed emotions, and everything came to the surface. Very, very uncomfortable, but it did break my heart open. So I learned to take care of myself. Eating, moving, resting, drinking water, and also the mindset stuff. So we've already heard about Louise Hay at this retreat. Somebody, at least one person, has mentioned her, the mental and emotional causes of arthritis. So as my healing journey developed, I started to look at not just, okay, let's fix these physical symptoms, but what actually caused this. So all these lists of things: feeling unloved, criticism and resentment, a desire to blame and punish, feeling victimized, chronic bitterness, deep criticism of authority, feeling put upon, and a lack of self-love. These are all things, if you think back to the Hulk slide, you will remember some of them from there. Guilt looks for punishment and creates pain. Those are the words of Louise Hay. So my physical results, it worked. It worked. So I took back control, and my efforts did produce real results. I did it. The pain in my joints went away almost completely. My joints felt more supple. My skin was glowing. My mind sharper. I had energy. Came off all the medication. I haven't taken any medication since. So I went into the doctors, put the tablets on the desk and said, I don't need these anymore. I healed myself. What do you think about that? Now, so this was the star moment. The doctor, of course, wasn't that interested. He called me an anomaly and wasn't interested in finding out more. However, this was part of the star moment. You know, this was about healing and recovery. And tarot, this is the star cards are focused on authenticity, letting go of all the bullshit and all the man-made stuff that's really not in service anymore. So there's a sense of spiritual connection, renewed optimism, a sense of purpose. You know, there's a reason for this, and big feelings that come from self-acceptance and radical self-love. You can see her sitting there naked, without any shame, without any guilt, without any embarrassment. So I started sharing and telling people about my journey. I mean, some people were interested, some people not, but I did share, you know, I did share my message with the world. Wounds are wisdom. Wounds are wisdom. The wound is the place where the light enters you. Or, as I've heard somebody else say more recently, the wound is the place where the light can come out from you, where the light can come out from you. Unexpected outcomes. So I was looking, all I wanted was to not be in pain. That's all I wanted when I started this journey. That was all I wanted. I'm in pain, this agony. How can I fix this? But this physical healing journey led to so much more. Emotional healing, all that the repressed feelings in the heart, you know, that were found when the heart broke open. I realised this missing connection with my dad. I hadn't spoken to my dad for 22 years, and I reached out to him. And we have a wonderful relationship now, and we send I love you messages to each other every day, which is very different than how things used to be. Healing this father wound then opens my heart up to this connection with my lover, with my partner, and that is a relationship that still stands today. So now I'm in a bit more balance, I would say. I was in an extreme situation and I needed to take extreme action. Life's a bit more different now. I'm not really I'm no longer teetotal. I have alcohol maybe a few times a year. In saying that, though, the last time I had it was February, so it's not something that happens very often. Again, I probably drink caffeine more than I would really like to. I'm no longer in a plant-based diet, but I do love fruit and vegetables. So even though some of these, you know, quotes, toxic things are back in my life, I do not have that arthritic pain any longer. I do not have that pain any longer. Takeaways. I mean, this is what, I've learned so much from this journey. So much on this journey. So health is wealth. No one is coming to save you when you're in this space of victimhood and you're looking around, no one is coming to save you, unfortunately. No one takes your power, you give it away. Pain is really humbling, really humbling, and a fabulous teacher. Our pain can lead to passion and purpose. When you don't listen to the universe, it will speak to you in more dramatic ways through the tower. Everyone's healing journey is different. Healing happens on all levels, mind, body, heart, and soul. The human body and spirit is amazing. Stay hopeful. Healing is real. It's definitely not easy, but it is worth it. And doing something different will create different results. That seems very obvious, but it's something that we don't always get. Love heals, and healing is ongoing. So thank you so much for being here with me. I'm hoping we're okay for time, because when I'm looking at this presentation, I can't see the time. So thank you so much for being here with me. I'd love to hear your insights. I'm happy to answer any questions. And that is a little picture of Temple Divine in Glasgow. And if you want to connect with me further, then these are all the places that you can do that. Thank you.
Yay! Oh my gosh, Claire. So amazing. So powerful. Thank
So
you.
beautifully Claire,
Right. Yes.
so wise, so loving, so gifted, so connected. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Yes. So, so what was the doctor's reaction when you were like, I healed myself, could drop Mike here?
Well, I said, I said, you know how you told me that if I changed things, nothing would work, but here I am, I've done it. So he just wasn't that interested. Just didn't seem that interested in finding out. I said, do you want me to tell you what I did, or do you want me to share things? He didn't really seem particularly interested in hearing what I had to say. And then I said, you know, I sort of I question the ethics of this organization that tells me that, you know, these things won't help. And then he sort of kind of shuffled me out the office, to be honest. And that was really the end of that. That was really the end of that. But that was a while ago. I do think doctors are much more open-minded now, because that would have been over 10 years ago. I do think that a lot has changed in that time, and certainly a lot of people who are nurses, even doctors, come to me to learn Reiki and things like that. And I do feel like we're on the right path now. So I don't really want to be too critical of the NHS or things like that, because there are times where they really do a wonderful job, but they're probably working within the limitations of their knowledge
And belief systems, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So this has absolutely happened to me as well, where the doctors are like, no. In fact, my husband was diagnosed earlier this year with type 2 diabetes, and his endocrinologist said, oh no, diet won't make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like thinking to myself, what? How can a doctor even be preaching this? This is so wrong on so many levels. She was wrong. He changed his diet dramatically, and within, in fact, they said, there's no way that you'll get better in 3 months. And it was within, I think it was 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks.
Yep.
His blood sugars went down so dramatically that he's the poster child for exactly what you're talking about. Julie Rose, I see you. What would you like to add?
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you, Claire, for that presentation. I actually have rheumatoid disease, and I found a lot of your information very interesting. And I have changed my diet in the past, but you know, I did have a lot of difficulties staying on that path. That's my but I did feel better while I was on it, of course. But I guess, you know, it kind of motivates me to try again. So thank you.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. It's not easy. That's why I think I had to get to the point where I was desperate. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it. Tani Raw she's a YouTuber, and she's got a lot of free advice on her YouTube channel about raw food and about healing. She had a lot of inflammatory diseases. So that will, because psoriatic arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis are quite similar.
That was Tammy. Could you put her name in the chat for us?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Fabulous. Tammy Raw. Okay, thank you.
Animal.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Fabulous. Yay, I'm going to stop the recording. Any other questions before I stop the recording? Okay.